Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Neil, and I'm with Indivisible Marin. And in conjunction with Indivisible Novato and Indivisible West Marin, we are thrilled that you are here today and blown away by this turnout. Please join me in acknowledging that we are gathered on unceded ancestral lands of the Coast Miwok people of present-day Marin County. We honor with gratitude the land itself, and we celebrate the ongoing relationship with the Coast Miwok people and their traditional territories. Look around you. There must be over 2,000 people gathered here today. Make no mistake about it, Marin is fighting back. This is what democracy looks like. But it's not just us. We are one of over 1,000 rallies that are happening in all 50 states today. From coast to coast, people are rising up to defend our rights, our freedoms, and our democracy. We are here today because we refuse to sit quietly by while the powerful few try to steal our future. From Donald Trump to Elon Musk. From billionaires to corrupt politicians. We see what they are trying to do. They want to seize control. They want to dismantle our institutions, and they want to divide us with fear and hate. But today, as Howard Beale shouted in the movie Network, we are mad as hell and we aren't going to take it anymore. Let me hear you say, we are mad as hell and we aren't going to take it. Let them hear you in Washington, D.C. We are mad as hell and we are not going to take it anymore. Our message today is hands off our democracy, hands off our rights, hands off our freedom, hands off our future, and now may I add, hands off our economy. This is just not a moment, it's a movement. In every state, in every city, in every town, people are rising up. We are here not just as individuals, not just as separate communities, but as one united force. The attacks on our democracy affect us all. Black, white, Latino, Asian, Indigenous, LGBTQ+, the young, the old, the workers, the students, the union members, the veterans, people with disabilities, people of all faiths and backgrounds. Today we stand together. We are the voices that will not be silenced. We will not stand by and watch as our rights are trampled. We will not be intimidated. We will not be divided, and we will not back down. Today we raise our voices and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's time for real change. We will keep fighting, we will keep standing up, and we will keep demanding accountability. Because when we take action, we create change. When we organize, we are powerful. And when we stand together, we are unstoppable. It is my great privilege today to introduce to you a range of speakers who represent many of the communities who are being harmed by the administration and are fighting back. People who live here in Marin and will speak today on behalf of immigrants, seniors, veterans, and the LGBTQ communities. You will also hear from two elected officials who are fighting alongside with all of us. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce Eric Lucan, Marin County Supervisor representing District 5, which includes much of Novato as well as some unincorporated areas. Supervisor Lucan was elected to the Marin County Board of Supervisors in 2022. Prior to serving on the board, he served on the Novato City Council for 11 years. He is a lifelong resident of Novato. Supervisor Eric Lucan.
Thank you for getting us started. Let's hear it for all the Indivisible Marin groups for bringing us together today. I especially want to thank them. I want to thank Susan Morgan for providing a professional and a peaceful rally where we can collectively let our voices be heard. I will keep it brief. I promise my remarks will be about 25 hours and 2 minutes less than our hero, Senator Booker. As a Novato native and a member of the Board of Supervisors, I am incredibly inspired to see all of you here today. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and one of the most fundamental rules they learned on their very first day of preschool of how to play nice with others was this declaration: helping hands. I will use my hands for helping and not hurting. Unfortunately, what we're seeing today is anything but helpful, and the hands are being used to be intentionally hurtful, harmful, and hateful. And when that happens, we rally together to say, hands off. Hands off! When individuals in Washington are motivated by power and profits at the expense of people and our planet, we rally to say, hands off. And when veterans, kids, older adults, farmers, immigrants, and transgender people are being targeted, we rally to say, hands off. Here locally, I am regularly hearing from our residents. I was recently at a parent forum where a mother shared what her young son had told to her based off of conversations he had on the playground. And he came home one day and he said, "Mommy, was I born here? Am I safe?" I met with parents of a trans child who fear for their child's safety and health care. A Vietnam veteran from Novato spoke powerfully at our board meeting about the life-saving VA benefits he receives, yet he's terrified by the devastating cuts. These are just a few voices in a long list of our community who are scared, uncertain, and deeply concerned about what comes next. We also know how national rhetoric can have a chilling effect on immigrants and mixed-status families, making them hesitant to sign up for benefits like Medi-Cal and CalFresh. And we know the rhetoric is now targeting our community through paid ads. Anyone who has listened to sports radio in the past couple of weeks, you have probably heard the most hate-filled anti-immigration propaganda I have ever heard on the radio in my lifetime. And that's why we need to come together and say, hands off. Here in Marin, we are not just sitting on our hands. Instead, as we are going to push back with one hand, we are going to lend a helping hand with the other to those in need, to those in fear, and those who are being singled out. Hear me loud and clear. The values we hold here as a community and in the county of Marin have not changed, and the support that we will show all of our residents didn't change on Election Day, it didn't change on Inauguration Day, and it's not going to change in the years ahead. On a personal level, as your representative and as a member of this community, I have your back, and collectively with my colleagues, we have your back. In January, the Board of Supervisors adopted a resolution affirming that every individual in our community, regardless of race, gender identity, age, ability, sexual orientation, religion, immigration status, equally deserves safety, security, inclusion, respect, and dignity. We're backing up those words with action. We've committed $500,000 to local community-based organizations to fund immigration support services. When our community is in need, we step up. Our Marin County Public Defender's Office, in partnership with local partners and agencies, has conducted more than 30 Know Your Rights workshops to ensure immigrants, residents, and families know their rights. Now more than ever, our work at the local level matters. This is where we can make a difference. When powerful hands reach out to hurt, in addition to saying hands off, let's collectively lend our hand to heal our community and heal our nation. So what can you do to support? Support our community members who are being threatened. Volunteer at your local food bank. Take a Know Your Rights training. Donate to local organizations. Push back against misinformation and keep mobilizing and standing up for what's right. Can we do this, Marin County? It's my honor to introduce former Air Force First Lieutenant Joanne Beam. Lieutenant Beam is a Vietnam-era veteran and was a critical care and operating room nurse. Let's hear it for Lieutenant Beam.
Okay, thank you so much, Marin. It is an absolute honor to be here. I'm speaking on behalf of our Veterans Administration and to touch on life events that landed me here today. Can you all hear me back there? Okay, good. I'm not used to yelling, but I'm going to keep it up if I can. My military service was initially inspired by my dad, a 100% disabled World War II Army vet. Dad wore leg braces and received excellent health care from the VA for 60 of his 84 years. From 1966 to 1970, I was an active Vietnam War protester on my college campus at Florida State. Yay, we all did that. I can recognize your age group out there. At Florida State, I broke rules and curfews to attend candlelight vigils and marches. We wanted all our boys home and out of harm's way. Many were our brothers, neighbors, and former classmates. After college, I hopped in my '64 VW Bug and headed straight to Washington, D.C. by myself. Within days, I was hired as a new RN grad at Walter Reed Army Hospital. The most gravely injured soldiers were stabilized in field hospitals, then air-evac to Andrews, and then transferred by helicopter to the helipad over my unit. Many soldiers came out of anesthesia begging for their mother's wife and girlfriend. I brought my Kleenex here. I held them repeatedly over and over. This is tough. I'm here for you to hold you until your mom or wife shows up. Their pleas and young faces are etched forever into my memory. Most were around my age. I was 21. The lucky ones are now elder vets like me. These soldiers are the main reason I'm here today. After Walter Reed and grad school, I was commissioned as a first lieutenant and sent to Travis Air Force Base as an operating room for the final 2 years of the Vietnam War. Now, we've all heard countless stories about public insults Vietnam vets received upon returning home in uniform. Being booed and hissed and even spit upon by strangers was despicable, and undoubtedly made their reintegration back to civilian life much more difficult. How many Vietnam vets are out there? Okay, all right, okay, quite a few. But vets from all wars over many decades hid wartime experiences, locking away their medals and memorabilia, trying to erase horrific battlefield memories. Withdrawal and isolation are huge obstacles to health and well-being at home. To help vets overcome a myriad of mental and physical combat trauma, the VA set up widespread treatment and counseling programs. Our VA, although not perfect, is a national treasure. For nearly a century, hundreds of thousands of discharged U.S. service members have relied on the VA as a lifeline, not just to survive, but to thrive in civilian life with health care counseling, job training, and housing support and education. It's shattering that 82,000 veterans lost their government jobs last week. Okay, it's terrible. This is a full-blown code blue. Due to the narcissistic amateurs occupying the White House, we must pledge to do all we can, individually and collectively, to protect our democracy and those most responsible for our freedom, our veterans. Hands off! Hands off! Our Veterans Administration. Thank you, everyone. It's been an honor. With pleasure, I'll introduce Chris Organ, a retiree from Fairfax. Chris is a leader with the California Alliance of Retired Americans called CARA. CARA fights on behalf of seniors and people with disabilities to preserve and expand Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Welcome, Chris. Okay.
Welcome, brothers and sisters. My name is Chris Organ. I come to you from the California Alliance for Retired Americans, or CARA. We were founded by the state AFL-CIO. You know, the unions. They represent working people, and they want CARA to represent over 1 million Californians, retired or disabled, or both. And we have something to say about Trump-Musk attacks. Why do you think Trump targeted Social Security? I have a theory. Trump is rich. All his cabinet friends are rich. Elon Musk is mega rich. And he employs rich teenage groupies who want to target older people, disabled people. They want to get richer off our earned benefits. Musk wants us to think of Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid as Ponzi schemes, because he and his friends are all about depositing your hard-earned dollars into their investments, their crypto. Ponzi schemes that benefit them. All right. They'll trash Social Security and offer you something protected from government. Well, Social Security is a government program that has survived for 90 years. It's protected by government employees, Social Security commissioners, and the vigilant people of the United States of America, including retirees, many of whom live check by check. We aren't rich like Trump. We get scammed by people like Trump. All the time. We, the people, are ready to protect ourselves. So CARA, with our friend Assemblymember Pilar Chavo, have introduced Assembly Joint Resolution 3, or AJR 3, and we want you to join us in calling your state legislators to commit and co-author this declaration that Congress should not permit Trump to touch our earned benefits. Join us in calling voters in congressional districts where the legislator supported DOJ. Remind them, we live check to check. We will not stand for someone who sells out our earned benefits. Come with a story about how defunding Social Security could lead you or your loved ones to lose a home, or force a family member to quit a good job in order to care for our elder dependents. The attack on Social Security is another fraudster. We will stand up and fight back. We stand together with all of you, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Jared Huffman.
Are you guys ready to get this democracy party started? It is so good to see 5,000 defenders of democracy. I want to thank you for caring enough about our country to be here and participate in this National Day of Action with millions of other Americans all over this country, part of a peaceful protest against everything Donald Trump is doing to our great country. Now, we know we're here because we know this is not a golden age. We know that Wednesday was not Liberation Day. It was a petulant president sending the global economy into chaos, and in 2 days causing 25% of our GDP to go up in smoke. We are being gaslit and fleeced and betrayed, and we are here because we're not going to take it. Now, in the darkest days of the American Revolution, in the winter of 1776, when it wasn't going so well, one of our great founding fathers, Thomas Paine, I'll paraphrase, he said, "These are the times that try people's souls." And he went on to explain that America didn't want all of the conflict and the extreme peril that we were facing in that moment. But he said elsewhere, the times have found us. Well, folks, here we are. We did not want all of this conflict and corruption and chaos, but we have no choice but to face it head on because the times have now found us. We can't stand by while Donald Trump shreds our democracy, takes away fundamental rights, stirs up culture wars to try to make us hate each other, to distract and to divide us. We won't sit on our hands as he crashes the economy and drives up the cost of living for all of us with his unhinged tariffs and trade wars. We won't tolerate the way he is embracing the worst dictators on the planet and turning our friends into adversaries. We cannot abide the biggest scam in American history, allowing billionaires and oligarchs to take over our government and to turn it into something that only serves them. We did not want any of this, but the times have found us, which is why we are standing up and speaking up in solidarity with millions of our fellow Americans. And it is so important that we continue doing this, because unleashing the awesome power of public opinion is going to be a key part of stopping this and taking our country back. Now, I see a lot of proud Democrats here, but let's be clear, this is not about right versus left. This is about right versus wrong. Everyone is welcome here. All you have to do is love some basic American values: democracy, decency, fairness, justice, and yes, diversity, equity, and inclusion. These are not dirty words to be scrubbed from federal agency websites. These are core values that make us better. Now, we are fighting against a corrupt agenda that's trying to take away health care and threaten Social Security for millions of working families. And we say, not in our America. Will you say it with me? Not in our America. We're fighting against extremists who want to take away basic rights for women, immigrants, and LGBTQ people, and we say, not in our America. When corporate polluters try to roll back environmental protections and make this planet unlivable for our kids and grandkids so that they can make some more short-term profit, we say, not in our America. When the richest man in the world takes a chainsaw to critical government programs just to help Trump pay for tax cuts for billionaires, we say, not in our America. This is our country. This is our future. And we know democracy is not a gift or a birthright. It's something you have to take care of. You've got to defend. Sometimes you've got to fight to keep it. And we are here, we're coming together to peacefully do that now because our democracy is worth fighting for. So let's take all of our frustrations and fears and passion and let's channel it into action. My friend Nancy Pelosi has a saying, we don't agonize, we organize. So you can count on me to do my part back in Washington to lead this fight, and I will be with you here as well. We're going to have many more of these rallies and protests. They're going to have to get bigger, and they're going to have to get louder, but standing together with millions of our fellow Americans, we can and will win this fight. Let's get to work.
Jordan Decker is a passionate advocate and activist for transgender suicide prevention. He is the founder of Trans Heartline and the Heartline Approach course collection dedicated to supporting transgender surgical clients. Jana Barkin, longtime Marin resident, is a proud mother of a transgender son, author, speaker, and advocate for transgender youth and their families. She works to foster more awareness, compassion, and acceptance in our society. Please welcome Jordan and Jana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is so amazing to be here. I am Jana Barkin. My pronouns are she, her. I am the proud mother of a transgender son and author and advocate for transgender youth and their families. My mission is indeed to foster more awareness, compassion, acceptance, and love. Right now, trans people are under attack. Trump's executive orders targeting trans individuals are dangerous and will have devastating consequences. According to the Trevor Project, suicide attempts among transgender people have risen as much as 72%. 72%! With the highest increase in states passing anti-trans legislation. These attacks are part of a broader effort restricting access to reproductive health care, abortion rights, and other essential medical care. As a parent, I know firsthand how critical gender-affirming care is. I watched my son struggle, and when he finally found the courage to ask for what he needed, he wrote to me, "I just don't know how to live like this." Later, after receiving the care he needed, he told me, "Without that care, I don't know where I would be right now." He is thriving today because he has had access to life-saving health care, but so many others don't. Here in Marin, in California, our family has had privilege and access that many in our country do not. And when transgender people can't access the care they need, just like abortion care, they are forced into unsafe situations with often tragic consequences. Gender-affirming care saves lives. These decisions should not be made by politicians. They should be made by individuals and their medical team. They try to divide us by blaming trans kids in sports, by blaming schools for teaching pronouns, by blaming parents for supporting their children. But we won't let them. We say, hands off our bodies. Hands off our rights. Please pay attention to what is really important. People's lives. Urge your elected officials to protect transgender rights, especially transgender youth and their families. Yes, get to know know. Listen to their stories. And that is why I've invited my dear friend Jordan Decker to speak to you, heart to heart, human to human.
I am Jordan Decker. I am compassion. I am heart. I am love. I am a two-spirit transgender man. I believe when our hearts crack open, our light can shine. I wear a red hand in resistance. Resistance to the silence. Resistance to the erasure of thousands of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirit sisters here on Turtle Island. The colonizers call it the United States. Let me be clear. If even half of the number of missing and murdered Indigenous women were white, this country would have a revolution. Let that sink in a minute. If you think you love freedom, but you don't care if it applies to everyone, what you actually love is privilege. Are you willing to step into your privilege on behalf of freedom for all? Here are some hard words. 48% of trans youth will attempt suicide with no parental support. That number drops to 4% when just one parent supports their child. In the Indigenous communities, those numbers are 17% higher. We are watching lawmakers make that number rise. In my birth state of Texas, they introduced a House bill criminalizing being trans under the lie of gender identity fraud. Fraud? The only time I was a fraud was when the world called me a girl. My authenticity is my power, and that is what they are fear. Who would you be if you weren't afraid to be you? Do you want to love people or do you want to control them? Because we can't do both. The best way to love and protect women and trans people is to trust they know what's right for their bodies. To the people that say God doesn't make mistakes, I agree. I am not a mistake. I believe God makes people like me so people like them can understand the depths of unconditional love. In the face of hate, remember, right here in Marin, love lives in Marin. This is the time. This is the time to let the power of your authenticity shine. This is the time to let your love shine. This is the time to let your little light shine. Let's sing that. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Our next speaker is Lisa Bennett. Lisa is the executive director of the Multicultural Center of Marin, which serves the immigrant community, focusing on building leadership skills, community advocacy, as well as celebrating the beauty and the power of the many cultures in Marin. Let's give it up for Lisa.
Thank you. Olivia es para ti. Look around you. This is what it looks like when the people refuse to stay silent. We are here today because we are done watching our immigrant brothers and sisters be scapegoated, criminalized, and pushed to the margins. We are here because enough is enough. And the immigrants are not a threat. They are not a burden. They are the backbone of this country. And we will not let them be treated like anything less than human. Every time an immigrant is ripped from their home, we rage. Every time a child is locked in a cage, we rise. Every time a politician uses fear to divide us, we fight back. They want us to forget that immigrants are workers, students, soldiers, and parents. They want us to believe that borders are more sacred than lives. But we know better. Because this country was built by immigrants and slaves. And let's be real, many of the same people shouting, "Go back to your country," are standing on stolen land and living off stolen labor. This isn't just about immigration, it's about justice. It's about humanity. And it's about time this country lived up to the values it loves to preach. So here's the message. We demand citizenship for all. We demand an end to ICE detention centers and ICE terror. We demand protection, not persecution. And if they won't listen, we'll make them. We'll take to the streets. We'll flood the phone lines. We'll vote, protest, and organize, and we will, as the song says, not back down. Because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we make history. And when we fight for every immigrant who's been told they don't belong or need to hide in the shadows while their gifts and labors are exploited. Say it with me. Immigrants are welcome here. 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 We need a doctor in the front where it says hands off. All right, folks, let's make some noise. And thank God I don't have to follow Pastor Floyd. He is a powerful voice as the head of St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Marin City. Welcome, Pastor Floyd.
We understand there are moments when you must stand. There are times when the moral moment comes upon you. You do not choose it, it chooses you. To be an American is not to all be the same. It is to believe that because you're different doesn't mean that you ought to be erased. Because I believe differently from you, I'm not asking you to change your view. I'm just asking you to work with me so we can find a better view for all of us. This is not left or right. This is morally right or wrong. There comes a moment when we have to decide who we are. And we know one thing. We are better than this. Cruelty is not the definition of an American. Meanness is not the definition of a country. We have been cruel. We have been mean, but we've never been happy about it. And look and see that the folk who are now in the White House and those who are in our agency, they seem to be happy with cruelty. We have come here today to say, that's not us. You are not like us. If you think that meanness is okay, you are not like us. If you think that it's all right to throw people out of the country without rights, you are not like us. If you think that someone, because of who they love, how they love, and their own gender reality, that they ought to be destroyed, you are not like us. Who are we? We are the people. We are those who will stand regardless of what you think. We are those who will not back down. If all you do is to raise a sign, it's not enough. There are many of you who've never been to a rally in your life. We want to say welcome. We've been waiting for you. But anyway, you're going to have to find people who you disagree with and sit down with them and tell them that this is what you believe, this is what I believe, but together we're better than this. I do not believe that the majority of Americans believe that this is what they voted for. So if you disagree, you got to speak up. You got to say something. You got to engage somebody. You got to tell them, no, I don't agree. Now I would be remiss as I sit down because it's too hot, if I don't tell my sisters and brothers who are Christian in the audience, we have a special responsibility. God is calling you to stand up and stand for something. Stand for compassion. Stand for love. And if you believe in Jesus, stand for those who are hurting, those who are in need, those who are the least, and those who are the less. That's our job. That's what we mean by Christianity. So I know this rally has been hands off. And I'm glad we did that. But I charge you to be hands on. These are the hands that are your hands that will change things. So raise your hands. Wave. 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 Look around you. That's the power. That's the power. And did you notice, if you have hands and they have hands, we can change America. We can take this moral moment back. We can, we shall, we are going to take this moment back. God bless you.
Pastor Floyd, our fight doesn't end today. It begins here. So I'm asking each of you, don't leave here without taking the next step. We're not just here to demand change, we are here to make it happen. On the flyers that we passed out today, we are asking you to take two important actions. First, if you are not yet a member of a local action group, please join one. It'll be a source of community and provide you with ongoing ways to take action. If you are already a part of a local group, well then thank you. Please watch for their emails and engage as much as possible in the actions that are suggested. Secondly, please help us amplify the impact of this event. As Pastor Floyd said, talk about it with friends and family and share on social media. We want the world to know that we stood here united today in Marin County to say, hands off America! But this isn't just about us. This isn't just about us. It's about the generations to come. We are fighting for our children, for our grandchildren, and for the future they deserve. We refuse to let their world be one of fear, division, and corruption. Instead, we will build a country where they can thrive, a country where democracy is protected, where every person is treated with dignity, and where justice is not just a promise, but a reality. So let's stand together. Let's organize, let's fight, and let's take our country back. Not just for ourselves, but for the generations that come after us. So let's send this march off with a message for Trump and Musk and their supporters in Washington. Hands off our democracy! Hands off our rights! Hands off our future! Thank you, thank you.